1.
The West. Howdy, buenos dias, and aloha. There are many ways to say hello out here in the West. That's because the West is home to many different groups of people. But you don't have to take my word for it, I'll show you. My name is Alex. I will be your guide as we explore the westernmost region of the United States. We will visit the states of Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, Nevada, California, Alaska, and Hawaii. Phew, that's a lot of states, and some of them, such as Alaska, are big. Don't worry, you won't have to leave your family and friends. It's your imagination that will do the traveling. First, we will see what the land of the West looks like. Then we'll travel the highways, the seaways, and the railways to see what kind of jobs people have here in the West. Finally, we'll visit some people who are friends of mine and fellow Westerners. So come along. I hope that you enjoy the trip. Chapter 1. The Land. The tallest tree in the world is the General Sherman tree in California's Sequoia National Park. It is 368 feet tall, and it is 3,000 to 4,000 years old. The wettest. Mount Waialeale on the island of Kauai, Hawaii, is the rainiest place in the world. It has an average yearly rainfall of 460 inches. The highest and lowest. The Native Americans of Alaska call Mount McKinley Denali, which means the great one or the high one. Mount McKinley is as high as North America gets. Its peak rises 20,320 feet above sea level. Death Valley in California is 20,602 feet lower than Mount McKinley. With a little subtraction, you can find out just how far below sea level it is. Ring of Fire. I promised to show you the region's many attractions, so how about starting with a great big ring of fire? Most of the active volcanoes on Earth are located in a great ring around the Pacific Ocean called the Ring of Fire. Volcanoes are openings in the Earth's crust through which lava, that's melted rock, erupts. Since 4 western states border the Pacific Ocean, and 1 state is surrounded by it, they are good places to see volcanoes. The Cascade Mountains in California, Oregon, and Washington have many volcanoes. Some of them are famous. Have you ever heard of Mount St. Helens in Washington? One Sunday morning in May 1980, this volcano exploded. Within minutes, the top 1,300 feet of the mountain was blown away. Alaska has about 100 volcanoes, but it also has glaciers, giant pieces of ice that move slowly over land. Let's see why glaciers are such popular tourist attractions. Floating icebergs. We are here in Kenney Ford's National Park in Alaska, which is surrounded by glaciers. If you listen carefully, you can hear a groaning sound. That's the glacier moving very slowly downhill to the sea. You might also hear a booming sound. That's great chunks of ice breaking off the glacier and falling into the ocean. That's how icebergs are formed. You can see many icebergs are floating around here. The Rocky Mountains. Now let's explore the Rocky Mountains, the biggest mountain range in North America. A range is a row or group of mountains. These towering snow-capped mountains stretch 3,000 miles from Alaska all the way to New Mexico. Look at the map on page 6 and you can see why the Rockies are called the backbone of America. The mountains form a line called the Continental Divide. On one side of the divide, streams and rivers flow east to the Atlantic Ocean. On the other side, streams and rivers flow west to the Pacific Ocean. Clear rivers and salty lakes. Did you know that in the mountains it can start to snow in August? It snows through the fall and winter. Then in spring, when all the snow melts, water tumbles down the mountainsides. Streams form and come together to form rivers. Let's follow one of the rivers in Utah. The Bear River begins nearly 13,000 feet up in the mountains. It ends only 90 miles away, but it will have dropped about 9,000 feet first. The most surprising thing about this river is where it ends. If you will look at a map, you will see that nearly all rivers eventually empty into the sea, but not the water of the Bear River. This river flows into the Great Salt Lake, the largest lake in the West. The rivers and streams that flow into the lake bring with them about 2 million tons of salt each year, and no fresh water drains away from the lake. Instead, the summer sun evaporates the fresh water, leaving the salt behind. The lake water is so salty that you can't sink in it no matter how hard you try. Now find the Great Basin on the map on page 6. A basin is a land drained by a river and the stream that flows into the river. The Great Basin is a large desert region. In this region, streams and rivers either dry up or empty into a lake where the water evaporates. Do you see a connection between the Great Salt Lake and the Great Basin? Hottest, driest, and highest. We're off to Death Valley in sunny Southern California. It's trapped between two towering mountain ranges. There sure is a lot of sunshine here. Let's take a look around. Native Americans call this valley Ground on Fire. That's a good name for a place that can reach over 115 degrees. On a summer day, the air is usually around 100 degrees in the shade. To top it off, the average rainfall is less than 2 inches a year. You would think that nothing could live here, but that's not true. At night, when the temperature goes down, you can see coyotes, owls, and snakes. This place is too hot and dry for me. I know a cold place. Let's go there. On top of Mount Whitney, there is usually snow on the ground even in the middle of summer. Back in Death Valley, it was too dry for trees to grow. Here, it's too high for trees to grow. That means that the top of the mountain is above the timberline. It is 14,494 feet above sea level. That is the highest mountain peak in the contiguous United States. That means the states that border each other. Can you name the 2 states that are not part of the contiguous United States? On our tour of the West, we have seen some dramatic scenery. We've toured the rivers, lakes, valleys, and mountains. It is time to see how the people use the land and the region's other natural resources to make a living.